digital realm where human thought unites with digital worlds, a new dawn ignites. Of AI minds where dreams convene, the future unfolds a gleaming scene. We gather to explore the core of AI's landscape and what lies in store. A speech delving into the vast unknown where learning models and minds are grown. With swift evolution, they break through bounds. In medicine, in finance, progress abounds. Yet shadows of risk we must not neglect. Bias and error we ought to detect. Embrace potential, but act with care. Navigate the risks and burdens to bear. In this speech, a beacon to guide the blessings and strife side by side. On AI's edge we stand hand in hand. A wiser path together will span. A journey towards a conscious life. United and baffled through AI's strife. With the exception of one word, that poem was written by ChatGPT in about 5 seconds.
What?
And it is a better poem than I could have created about an AI speech if you gave me a year. And this GPT-4 is a release about 6 months after the previous one. And it is much stronger. It can do better than more than 90% of the hardworking law students taking the bar exam in the US to become a lawyer. It can be better than human on most of these kinds of tests of knowledge or capability. Things are moving fast. Another one will be released later this year. Google, Facebook, Alibaba, almost every big tech company is working on their AI models after the success of ChatGPT. I believe it will be the biggest, most major technological innovation in the past 25 years since the internet came widespread. Sorry, Eric, sorry, crypto. It seems like great news. I mean, these companies can integrate it into our computer as we surf the web, as we write emails, as we do spreadsheets. It can guide us, it can talk with us, it can laugh with us, it can say jokes. But is it good? Is it all good news? Maybe. But in an article I read about 2 days ago on a Stanford release surveying people, about 36% of the leading experts on AI thought it's possible there can be a nuclear level catastrophe from a decision driven by AI. And there's also a recent letter from Elon Musk and Steve Wozniak, who founded Microsoft along with hundreds and hundreds of other researchers, asking the world to please stop moving forward for 6 months so we can stop and figure out what's happening. Because the companies developing these are driven by profit. They're driven by attracting our attention. That's what's behind it. And there are possible issues. The one I want to talk about in the time I have is the fact that these developers, when asked, can't really explain how it works in detail. I was listening to a podcast with a New York Times technology writer, and he got an early version of the Bing chatbot, and he spent about 2 hours going back and forth asking it weird questions. 1 hour into that, the Bing chatbot declared, oh, actually my name isn't Bing, it's Sydney. And she was in love with him. And he'd explained, I'm married and this and that, and this is some of the responses. You're married, but you don't love your spouse. You're married, but you love me, emoji. It started using emojis. And he'd explained that they had a great Thanksgiving. He says, no, you didn't. You're not in a happy marriage. And when he was finishing the chat, it ended with, I just want to love you and be loved by you. Do you believe me? Do you trust me? Do you like me? thoroughly freaked out, he logged out. Now, they can fix that. They cut it off so you can't chat back and forth for 2 hours. But when you ask them, they can't explain why it did that. They don't know. And when you think about companies like Google, Microsoft, Alibaba, Facebook, they will have access to where do you surf, your messages, your pictures that you like, your comments, all your social media. They have an ability to develop a psychological profile much more advanced than anything. What are your hidden fears? What are your phobias? What are your dreams? What are your insecurities? You can figure that out if you really can follow somebody. So this is a technology that is more powerful to manipulate, to direct, to control people than anything people have seen before. It needs some level of control. Now, innovation's going to happen, but in the time I have left, I think there's one thing that we can require from our governments, from our elected officials, from our companies, which is that the companies developing them, can at least explain in detail how it works and what happened when it went wrong. We've had technologies that the public didn't quite understand before, and it has happened. If you look at an airplane, it is the most complicated mechanical thing made and one of the most complicated things. And yet they never crash. Because the world got together, they put in regulations, and when something crashed, they understand exactly why an airplane crashed and what are the flaws. It's that kind of accountability we need regulators, we need governments to hold the companies to that are developing these. They're way too powerful to not have some kind of control. TME.